humiliation against Liverpool, domination against Man City, a slapping against a man who has his own vocabulary.
Dilly din, dilly dong, come on.
It's the end of the road for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But where exactly did the cracks start to appear?
Get the contract out, put it on the table.
Here, literally exactly right here. What went wrong at Manchester United?
It's not a place.
So picture the scene, yeah? I'm sat on a train trying to keep up with the score lines. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'd have more signal if I was trying to use a Nintendo DS. But eventually a score line comes through that I'm not expecting. Watford 4, Manchester United 1. And a man's just scored whose second name is Dennis. How are you going to concede a fourth goal to a guy with a name as old as that? What is it, 1973? And Nigel's thrown goal. He's done it. The game ends and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer quite rightly goes to the travelling United fans and apologises for the shocking performance they've seen at Vicarage Road. Bruno Fernandes stands behind him and clarifies the situation.
Someone said it, innit, not me, innit, but I agree with that person as well, innit, but
this result was not just the outcome of a shocking performance, which it was again. Defensively, these lot are absolutely all over the place. But it was the result of a red card for United captain Harry Maguire, who celebrated after his brace of yellow cards. You can't put your fingers in your ears to celebrate a goal against Albania as if you're silencing the haters, then direct message the haters and say watch this a week later. At least he can celebrate in the knowledge that he's not been brought home in police custody this time. If I'm Chelsea, I'm appealing the red card, fam. Play against me, it'll make it easier. He was sent off against Watford, then went on a night out the same day. He had prees at half time. These are the actions of a man 5 Jaeger bombs deep. Ben Foster got himself an assist in this game and hence a title for his next upload. He just lumped the ball long for Emmanuel Dennis for the 4th goal in the 96th minute. And that means a YouTuber had the same amount of contributions as far as goals are concerned as Cristiano Ronaldo. Could he have timed his discussion with Harry Maguire in the tunnel a little bit better? Maybe. What an absolute top geezer Harry Maguire is. Absolute lad. Wanted him on the podcast after he got sent off, punched me in the face, but I'm sure he meant well. And this is the thing, man. United aren't just losing games against bad sides. They're losing games against bad sides, and then those sides are actually bantering them on Twitter as well. Ronaldo didn't roll up his sleeves and get the job done, but Watford certainly did. It's a shithousery award for them, and for Emmanuel Dennis, who's taken the piss out of Harry Maguire. But we all knew what was coming after this result. It's what most of us feared would happen after the Liverpool thrashing, and even after the papering over the cracks against Tottenham. It meant the end for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And the hiring of Michael Carrick. Yeah, that's right, it'll be Michael Carrick and Darren Fletcher that take over Manchester United whilst the Red Devils search for a new manager. United fans are gonna be devastated when Carrick wins his first 5 games in charge and he gets given a 7.5-year deal to take over there. We all know how this goes. It's just gonna be a rinse and repeat of the Ole situation. If you're gonna give it to Fletcher and Carrick, you might as well just give the managerial role to Ronaldo. Furthermore, how do you expect big old Cristiano Ronaldo to take orders from Darren Fletcher when he's being asked to press more in the 6th minute of the game?
What's your name, sorry? Why are you? Go on. Just help, yeah. Just help out, do your job, yeah.
In truth, I reckon Ollie was sacked before the game even started. He did come out after the game in an interview and suggested it wasn't too late. He himself could still turn this ship around. We've got live scenes of the turnaround happening here. I saw a tweet today as well that would suggest that other fans weren't even enjoying the shambles that was going on at United right now. Enjoy it. Fam, I'm reveling in it. I was bullied by Ruud van Nistelrooy, Wayne Rooney, and Eric Jemba growing up. Less so the last one. Manchester United even gave their former player icon Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a farewell interview as he left the club.
Becoming emotional now because he's top, and that's they'll be fine. I'll watch them and support them.
I did think it was quite an interesting thing to do for an outgoing manager. Like, you've just slapped him his P45 on the table and you're like, one final thing, mate. But he seemed to take it okay, and he was obviously very emotional upon leaving the club. Poor Ole as well. He's going to get even more emotional when he sees the goodbye messages from the rest of the players, until, of course, he gets to the message that he's received from Donny van der Beek.
Hope you get hit by a bus today, you fucking wanker.
You know, and it shows that managers are human, ultimately. Steve Bruce came out and talked about this recently, and I think sometimes in supporting a club, fans often forget that the manager is separate to the entity that you are watching and supporting. They've got emotions of their own in the same way the players do. I mentioned Steve Bruce. Apparently, he's keen on taking on the Manchester United job. Look, big up Steve, okay? He was at the club as a player, but I don't think he's gonna be considered on the job application, no matter how quickly he sprints to the front of the queue. Though in theory, he is used to managing Jeff Hendrick, and Fred is a pretty similar ability level, so... Now, Rio Ferdinand has been very active in the media around Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's appointment and throughout the course of his managerial spell. And when asked upon who should take over the reins at such a prestigious club in such a difficult situation, his answer was awe-inspiring.
And I stand by that, and I'm very comfortable and confident in saying what I have to say. Who would you bring in? I don't know.
At least Ed Woodward seems to have made up his mind on a next plan of action in replacing Ole. Now, obviously, board, I have gathered you here today because we need to have a discussion on a new manager. Yes, I was wondering why Darren was stood there. Now, all of us here, very knowledgeable about how this club has been run. And I think we could all accept that this club was looking at its most promising when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was caretaker manager. Therefore, I'm proposing we rehire Ole as a caretaker manager. Oh, yes, absolutely. Not agree more. Now, one of the actual favourites for the job, of course, is Zinedine Zidane, who's been out of a job since leaving Real Madrid for his second spell at the Galacticos. This is a man, of course, who won 3 Champions Leagues in a row whilst managing Real in his first stint. But not only has he never played or managed in the Premier League, so therefore would have to adapt to its nature, his wife doesn't seem too happy on the move either, stating that she would not want to leave Madrid in favour of Manchester. So are you suggesting she wouldn't enjoy Moss side? She wouldn't go and have a picnic at Cumberland Farms, for example? Is she really insinuating that Oldham is not the best place to... She's got a point, actually, to be fair. It's alright, Zizou's just gonna have to take matters into his own hands here. But is it really that deep for Zinedine Zidane? Does he want to get divorced and have to manage Scott McTominay? But the other option, and one who's seemingly more interested in joining the club, is former Tottenham and current PSG gaffer Maurizio Pochettino. Now, for me, this almost seems to make the most sense. Pochettino loves a bit of a rebuild, doesn't he? And whilst this rebuild probably isn't as difficult as the Tottenham one, because the personnel at this club are really, really solid, it's still a bit of a job to restore former glory for him, and that's the type of job he likes. I would be a little bit concerned that he hasn't seemed to manage the big names at PSG as well as maybe he would have hoped. Will he have the same issue with Cristiano Ronaldo, for example? But I would seriously back him to win a Premier League with the tools that he has at his disposal, plus probably a defensive midfielder. But what we shouldn't do is undermine what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did for Manchester United. Because even though I took the piss and called him a PE teacher every week, the job that Ole did at stabilising Man U as a football club should actually be commended. Yep, they're playing probably as bad as I've ever seen them play in my entire life right now. But at least he's put the club in a position where a serious manager can come in and do the business. And that, I think, really is the job that Ole was given to do. So despite it kind of ending pretty badly, I think he's done relatively well. But the Europa League final, that was a bottle job. And I think that proved that Ole had run his course. You need better game management. You need better final and cup competition management to be as successful as you need to be whilst managing Man U. But he's not the only reason, because in answering what's gone wrong at Manchester United, it's the owners not particularly caring and pumping money out of the club. It's people in key positions of power like Ed Woodward and other board members either not caring or not being good enough at their job. It's the fact that Ole wasn't really tactically good enough to manage the side and didn't really get the help that he should have got from his backroom staff. But also it's the fact that certain players are providing an array of individual errors week in, week out. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire took England to the final of the Euros, and their performances this season have been absolutely disgusting. But let me know who you think should be given the Manchester United job, and how will they do? Drop that down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video though, feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at the official FNG on Twitter and on Insta. But it has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.